And we are back. Live from Las Vegas. It is time for another edition of Bar Comedy USA News. What is happening in bar comedy across the country? First, I want to give some shout outs and thank yous and recognition to Pub and Grub Comedy Tour headliners over the last couple weeks. Jim Norder, Alex Kaufman. Is that Kaufman or Kaufman? I never knew how to say that. It was Andy Kaufman. I always say Kaufman, but I used to say Kaufman. But I think it's Kaufman. Andy Gunnan. Dave Sheehan. They were at the Stillwater Grill in Stafford Springs, Connecticut last week and did an amazing job. That's a real cool place with a real cool crowd. Pearlie's Pub brought in their first-time comedy night with Skylar Bulks and Dan West. Had co-headlining Pub and Grub Comedy Tour, Pearlie, Minnesota. Ed Burrows and Ian Pope went down to Lansing, Kansas at the Groggery. I don't know if that's a pirate bar. Sounds like a pirate bar. The Groggery. Ed Burrows and Ian Pope. Lansing, Kansas. Not Michigan, Kansas. Don't make that mistake. I've done that before. You drive to like a city that's in the wrong state because it has the same name as the town you're supposed to be going to. Once that happened. Once. Still enough time to drive back to the show. And actually I'll tell the story a different time. I want to give a shout out to Nate Ford and Nick Hartley. They went to this Fort Dodge Opera House in Fort Dodge, Iowa last Saturday. So thank you guys. Everybody on the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour. And then we also had the final satellite for the World Series of Comedy take place for 2025 in Little Rock, Arkansas last week. Dave Kousgaard, Shay Freeman, Sandra Risser, they were the top three. Kudos to them. Next up is the main event. That happens here in Las Vegas in September. September 21st through the 27th. VIPTicketHub.com for that one. You don't want to miss it. Plan your trip out to Vegas now. And then this week they have the WSOC Records recordings in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Looney Bin Comedy Club. And then here's what else. I got an email from a bar owner about not booking comedy anymore from a previous experience they had from booking a YouTube star. They recently booked a YouTube star. And when I say star, I am very aggressively using finger quotes right now. So they were a longtime bar owner. They booked this so-called YouTube star. And then in our conversations going back and forth about bringing in the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour, they're like, we're not so sure because we recently booked a painfully unprofessional, not performer, YouTube star. And I guess they're disrespectful in some way. I didn't get into the details because this was just a place that had inquired about bringing in comedy, Pub and Grub Comedy Tour, and they wrote, "It's frustrating to have my person and house disrespected by someone with such little institutional knowledge." Which is true. Like you can be great at YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and be like a big time star, but likes and laugh emojis do not equal actual live laughter on stage. It doesn't really matter how many followers you have, you still might not have live stage presence. You don't have the chops. And yeah, viral videos are great, but when you strip away the editing and the filters and the ability to hit delete, you still need one thing: stage chops, timing, command of a crowd, being able to read a room, tap into the collective consciousness of the audience, handling hecklers, having respect for the venue, not treating them like a commenter on your post where you can be viciously as smart ass as you want. You don't have to risk the danger of getting punched in the face. Trust me, that you risk that danger sometimes. You smart off to the wrong person, even as a performer and stand-up. But I'm not saying it's right. But I have been chased with a pool cue a time or two. So I think it's a mistake when venue owners will book celebrity over quality. When it's fame over skill. Rule number 1, fame is lame. Invest in quality over celebrity. Here's what happens. The crowd doesn't laugh. Venue loses money. They never book comedy again. And legit comics lose out on future gigs. So it's not just one bad night. It's this whole ripple effect that cascades. It's a butterfly effect. It cancels opportunities for everyone. That's the real cancel culture. It's not like, oh, someone got canceled from the thing because someone complained. It's really nobody has any problem canceling anything because of any complaint whatsoever at any time. So don't give them reasons to complain. You don't have to cater to the hater. But just get good on being on front of a live audience. And that's not necessarily the YouTube star. That's not necessarily the Instagram hit, the Instagram sensation. It's not, you don't just have one bad apple spoiling the bunch. You've got one bad apple setting the whole fucking fruit cart on fire. You're just going to book a social media star. It's going to create a ripple effect that ruins opportunities for everyone who actually know what the hell they're doing. I mean, bar comedy is damn near a gladiator sport when it comes down to it. We'll get into more of that. Thanks for watching. Hit those website links below for tickets to upcoming shows, whether it's the Pub and Grove Comedy Tour or the World Series of Comedy. We've got the WSOC records this week in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Looney Bin, but also the main event in Las Vegas in September.